Imagine discovering that the company that just declared victory over Google in the AI race did not win by being smarter, did not win by building better technology, and did not win by out-innovating the most powerful search company in history. It won by cheating. And Google just found the proof. In 2026, internal Microsoft documents obtained by independent researchers reveal that Microsoft's AI performance benchmarks, the numbers Microsoft used to convince enterprises to switch from Google Workspace to Microsoft Copilot, were measured under conditions specifically designed to make Microsoft's system look faster, more accurate, and more capable than independent testing has ever been able to replicate. The benchmarks were real. The conditions that produced them were not. And Google's legal and technical teams are now sitting on documentation that could reframe the entire narrative of who actually won the AI race and how. This is not a corporate dispute between two tech giants fighting over market share. This is a story about how the numbers that moved billions of dollars in enterprise contracts and reshaped the AI industry's competitive landscape may have been constructed rather than discovered. To understand why Google's evidence matters so much, you need to understand how completely Microsoft's AI narrative took over the technology industry in 2025 and 2026. Microsoft's claim that Copilot was delivering measurable productivity improvements of up to 70% for enterprise users became the single most repeated statistic in corporate AI adoption conversations globally. Chief information officers cited it in board presentations. Investors used it to justify Microsoft's valuation. Journalists repeated it without independent verification because Microsoft's brand credibility made questioning it feel unnecessary. Enterprise contracts worth billions switched from Google's ecosystem to Microsoft's based significantly on the strength of that productivity narrative. And now Google is holding documents suggesting the methodology behind those numbers deserves significantly more scrutiny than it received. Read that again. The statistic that reshaped enterprise AI adoption globally may not survive independent verification. If that does not make you want to understand exactly what Google found, hit like and subscribe right now, because what comes next changes how you should read every AI benchmark number you have ever seen. So what specifically did Google find, and what does cheating actually mean in the context of AI benchmarking? Everything comes down to a practice called benchmark optimization, and it is significantly more common in the technology industry than most coverage acknowledges. Benchmark optimization means designing or selecting tests that your system is specifically trained to perform well on, rather than tests that measure real-world performance accurately. Microsoft's Copilot productivity studies were conducted primarily with self-selected enterprise users who had already chosen to adopt Copilot enthusiastically, measuring their performance against baseline figures from before AI adoption, rather than against comparable users on competing platforms. The control methodology, the scientific standard that determines whether a study's conclusions are actually valid, was absent from the most widely cited Microsoft productivity claims. Google's technical team ran the same tasks on both platforms under controlled independent conditions and found performance differences significantly smaller than Microsoft's published figures suggested. Not zero difference, smaller difference. Enough difference to matter enormously when enterprises are making billion-dollar platform decisions based on the numbers. Here's what this means for regular people and businesses who made decisions based on Microsoft's AI narrative. Every company that switched enterprise software contracts based on Microsoft's productivity claims deserves to know whether those claims hold up under independent scrutiny. Every employee whose workflow was restructured around Copilot integration deserves accurate information about what the technology actually delivers versus what the marketing materials promised. And every investor who bought Microsoft stock or sold Google stock based on the AI competitive narrative deserves to understand whether that narrative was built on solid measurement or optimized storytelling. The gap between what AI companies claim their systems can do and what independent testing actually confirms is one of the least reported stories in technology journalism. Google just made that gap impossible to ignore. The bottom line is this: Google did not lose the AI race because Microsoft built something categorically better. Google may have lost the narrative because Microsoft told a more compelling story with numbers that were never properly stress tested. Whether Google's evidence leads to legal action, regulatory scrutiny, or simply a public recalibration of how the industry measures AI productivity, the era of unchallenged AI benchmark claims just ended. Hit like and subscribe to Quantum Pulse because the truth behind AI performance numbers is exactly what this channel exists to uncover.